The reason you're struggling to get stops right now in Madden 26 is simply because you're calling bad plays. Or worse, you don't have a complete defensive scheme. Well, luckily for you, I've been labbing the full Jaguars defensive scheme, and I found some stuff that I promise will help you out and get more stops on defense. You're not going to miss this one because this scheme is super easy to run, so let's jump right into it. The first thing any great defense needs is the right settings before you get in the field. Let me show you the right ones to use from this Jaguars defense. Alright, so when we talk about the best defensive settings, alright, what you want to make sure that you have on is your cornerback matchups on balanced. Alright, this is going to make sure that your defense doesn't crisscross, misalign, depending on, you know what the offense does as far as no huddling. Alright, defense and motion response. Make sure this is on disabled. You do not want to have players following across the field in zone coverage. I know that's a problem for a lot of people, so disabling that, is going to help you out there. Now, this is the key, and what a lot of people like to disagree with me on for some reason, but I feel like this is pretty simple. With your option key, you want whatever you want to do with your user, you want it to be the con, right? And what I mean by that is, okay, if I want to focus on the quarterback on option plays, which I do, I want for my CPU to go get the ball carrier, right? I put it on aggressive. Right, if you wanted to do the other way around, which is fine, you can do that, but you need to understand what the CPU is going to take away and what you're supposed to take away, right? So you can go conservative, aggressive. I mean, it really just depends on your preference. RPO pass key, though, you want to make sure it's on conservative because you want to let the CPU focus on pass coverage while they give up the run so that you can come and make the plays with your user in the run game. But we have zone drops. Now, these are going to depend on the situation. I will be talking about these later in the video, so make sure you stick around. But I know a lot of you guys just like to set zone drops and forget them the rest of the game. If you want to do that, make sure you have your curl flats on 5, and that's going to be, what's best for you. But then safety depth on close, safety width on pinch is going to be the way to go about it, because if we come into Tampa 2 right here, all right, and they just, they're an empty right now, right? Empty's very good at attacking the seam, but you're going to be able to see, since our safeties are close to the line of scrimmage, they're going to actually be able to just break on that pass, right? They're going to go empty again, right? It's going to be the same thing where we're just looking right at the seam and we're able to get a knockout because, again, our safeties are much closer. Again, that's very important when they're in empty formations, when they're in this trips type of formation. Okay, they're going to bring their guy in motion. That's fine. Now they're going to try to look up the seam, and we're able to get 3 straight knockouts just because our safeties are close to the line of scrimmage and they're not just going to let them look up the seam. So those are really the best defense settings that you need to be using right now, to pair with everything I'm about to show you in this video. Alright, now you know the best settings to use, but everyone likes to focus on pass defense, but first you have to be able to stop the run to force them to be one-dimensional and pass the ball. Let me show you the best run defense in the game. Alright, so we are going to just put them in a regular inside zone run. Inside runs are the most common runs in the game, obviously. So you're going to come into nickel double mug. You're going to come into mid blitz. Alright, so you're going to take this linebacker that's on the opposite halfback side. So the halfback's on the right hip of the quarterback. I'm going to take the left A-gap rusher right here, Lloyd, and I'm going to drag him over the top of the center. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is, obviously you would never be able to see the offense's POV when you're in a game, but for the sake of showing you what happens to them, I'm going to show you, right? When I move over the top of this center now, there's now a flame icon over the top of that other defensive lineman, or excuse me, the other A-gap rusher. So now when I just run into this center, you see how he comes in completely free and is going to be able to make that play in the backfield. This is kind of a secret that not enough people know about. Only really top players know about this. But if you just move over the top of this center from double mug, boom, this man comes in free. Now, I mean, if your man just can't tackle, then you're probably just going to have to click on and make the play. But being able to come in free is a huge advantage versus if I don't move over, look what happens. When the offense takes a snap, everyone gets blocked and they can just completely run through that gap. Who is this running back and why does he break every tackle? My goodness, but it's like the same thing. If you just move over, now you get a man to come in completely free. Boom, I move over again, and this is what we call the auto shoot. Now, what I would do is I would click on. So I would let this guy come in free, and then I would just click on myself so that, I'm holding 2 controllers, but I would just click on to make sure that that tackle gets made versus, I guess, letting the AI do it. But this is a really easy run defense here from Double Mug. Again, it's what we call the auto shoot defense, and it's something that you certainly need to be using. Now, you're going to say, BLT, what if they run outside? What if they run stretch? All right, this defense doesn't stop. Like, it's not automatic run defense unless it's an inside run. So instead, what I would do against those outside runs, like they have pistol trips, here halfback stretch, I'm setting the edge with my user, right? If they're going to be in this and they're not running inside, I'm running all the way out here, click off and force them to come back. It's very easy. All you have to do against outside runs, you just have to make sure you set the edge, because you see this run right here. This is a great look to run on for them, right? If you don't set the edge with your user, I mean, they just have plenty of running room out to the edge, because if they're able to seal off the edge defender, then they just are able to run out there. But if you just stand right here, loop all the way around, set the edge with your user, and then you're just, and I'm holding two controllers, so forgive me that I didn't make that tackle, but all you have to do is get out there. Get out there with the user, because again, if you don't, you're screwed against outside runs. And this is from a lot of different formations, but you're able to see Trayvon Walker makes this play, and then I'm right there to make that tackle with my user. So Double Mug is great run defense because you get automatic run shoots against inside runs, and then it becomes very easy against outside runs because you just have to set the edge and force him to cut back, just like we learned in youth football. Alright, if you enjoyed those first two tips, they don't even compare to what I have for you in the rest of the video. So make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, comment free. I'll send you a free guide to dominate Madden 26. Let's jump right back into it. Alright, now that we've gotten a lot of the basics for defense that a lot of people miss out and skip out on out of the way, let's talk about your go-to blitz, because you're going to need to be able to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry. Alright, so you're going to come into dime 3-2, cover 4 quarters. Now, you need to make sure you have your safety depth, close, width on pinch, all 3 zone drop depths on default. But here's the key with this formation. Make sure you turn auto flip off. I always say you want to make sure you have it on, but for this particular blitz, it's better when you have it off. Right? So what you're going to see is it looks like this. How you get this loop blitz is you drag this man over here, but you have to bump him into this linebacker to get him to stay. If you don't bump him, he will move back over. Right? So again, this is just a 4-man rush, and you're just going to see how these guys are able to loop around. So all you're going to do, pass commit your defense, stand directly over this guard, and you're trying to turn this guard outside. So boom, they're going to take this down. I'm going to try to turn this guard outside, and you're able to see how number 23, that looper, is able to loop all the way around the offensive line and go get pressure on the quarterback in a hurry. All right, we're going to look at the instant replay right here. Again, only a 4-man rush. Again, against a 5-man protection, this should never happen. Why does this work though? Because 78, what does he do? He goes to double team. All right, he's going to go to double team this guy, and then he's too slow, too late, and then by that time, 23 is already too far in the back to just push his way into the quarterback for an easy sack. All right, so again, the key with this is turning auto flip off, getting him to stay in that spot, that blitz, and then everything on the back end, you're able to do a great job because you're in match coverage if you want to play match. If you don't want to play match, just put your curl flats on 5, like I told you earlier in the video, right? And then you're going to be able to take that away. But we're going to come right back into it now. Right here, this is what I'm talking about. If you move him over, and, oh, that time he actually did stay. So, I mean, like, sometimes he will, I guess. But I'm just telling you, for the most part, you need to bump him. Just bump, baby tap him into that man, and then you're going to be able to get him to stay, all right? We're going to have them call flood concept here, a very common route concept. And again, it's going to be the same thing. Boom, turn this man outside. Then you see you're able to get that pressure, and watch how everything is just guarded. Now, the loop blitz isn't coming in every play. Don't get it mistaken. This is a great loop blitz, and it also does a great job of collapsing the pocket too. But we're able to see instant replay 78 does a little bit better job. Maybe because he's in a different spot. Like, you want to be able to get that linebacker in the same spot every time, not too far back, not too close. So it's going to take some practice by you, but you're able to see he gets blocked this time, but now we just get a shed, right? This is still a 4-man rush against a 5-man protection. Quinn Ewers is down in a hurry, and then also you're able to see, I mean, we're matching onto all of these routes, and everything's taken away. So I feel like dime 3-2 needs to be your go-to blitz because it's so easy. You still have 7 people in coverage to do whatever you want if you want to run match or not, but you're still able to get that really quick pressure because you set the blitz up correctly. All right, reminder, I still have 2 very important tips that go along with this scheme to show you, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the breakdowns that I ever put out, and let's jump right back into it. All right, I know a lot of you guys struggle with making adjustments quickly on defense. Let me show you a simple coverage shell that a lot of people overlook but should be using right now. All right, so we're going to come into nickel 3-3 load mug. Now, this is another formation where you want to make sure you have auto flip off. All right, turn auto flip off. Same coaching adjustments as before, but you're going to come into cover 3 cloud, and you're going to call the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. All right, so it's going to look something like this. You can see now how dangerous this is going to be because look at our alignment. We have 3 defensive linemen on the side that they have. Or, I mean, like, yeah, they have 2 rushers. Again, so if we shift our D-line now, and then we come stand right here over the center, you never see this, like type of, we're not symmetrical at all, right? Trayvon Walker's all the way on the other side. But this is exactly what we want because now we're going to either force them to move their line over and slide protect, but a lot of people, they don't do that. They don't even know how that works. And so you're just going to be able to stand directly right here over the center, all right? So you're going to stand over the center. You're going to press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, all right? Because you essentially want to what I call turbo engage or, user rush them, but you're getting back into coverage, right? So spam A to get off the block of the center and look at that nano blitz, A-gap pressure, whatever you want to call it. Look at how dangerous that is because, again, we look at the instant replay right here. I get the attention of the center, but, again, I'm back into coverage immediately to stop David Njoku's spot route, right? Because I'm spamming A or X on PlayStation. And just look at this. Not only does Trayvon Walker, or this is Josh Allen, come free off the edge, right? And then he gets blocked momentarily. But look at our defensive tackle. This is so scary for them. Boom. It's just, again, 4-man rush because I'm back into coverage. I'm not even blitzing. A 4-man rush is a complete screamer and is going to cause complete havoc for them. So again, shift your D-line left. And I haven't even talked about the coverage because this is a very simple coverage shell, fellas. You're just sitting in cover 3 cloud. Cover 2 on one side, cover 3 on the other. The main thing that you want to do is work on your switch stick if routes start to break open. So again, they're going to be an empty right here, which really means we're about to just holler at them, right? D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, spam A, and then you can start switch sticking depending on what routes break open. Now, I'm going to be honest, you're going to get really quick pressure, with this blitz anyway, so switch sticking might not even be necessary, and that's why I always talk about never over switch stick. Don't switch stick when you don't have to. But again, boom, you're lined up over 55. You spam A to get off the block, and then you're just back into coverage, right? Look at all this. This is disgusting. 3 guys on one side of the line, and we're able to just get the edge rusher to walk in completely free right here. And then again, we're back into coverage, just switch stick all the way around. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's even hard for me to turbo engage and then switch stick into the right spots. So if you don't want to do that, like if you don't want to, turbo engage, it'll probably make your rush a little bit worse, but your coverage will be a little bit tighter and a little bit stronger, right? So really, you just don't turbo engage. You just stand over the center now, and then you're just trying to get his attention. But you still see how we get a guy to come in completely free on that particular play. And I never want to say that you're going to come in free every single play, but again, you just shift your D-line left now, don't turbo engage, take the snap by them, and then you're just ready to, do your work, switch stick. Boom, I'm here, I come back down, I'm here, and then everything's taken away, where we're still getting really good, really quick pressure, but it's maybe not instant. So it's really up to you with this blitz. That's why I love this defense, and it's something that I really need to talk about more, but you're still just able to see, look at this. This is they blocked 7 people right here, fellas. Like, it's a 4-man rush. This man still came in free. This 90, now the running back blocked him, yes. But, and then he just gets off the, that's terrible pass protection. They sent out, no, they blocked 8 people here. They sent 2 routes out, and we still get pretty routine, pretty quick pressure, right? So I'm just going to be honest with you guys. 3-3 load mug is a really good defense. I'm probably going to be updating it in my Jaguars defensive ebook that I make pretty soon. But yeah, this formation is crazy because it gives you full versatility to play coverage if you want, but you can also get really quick pressure by utilizing the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. Alright, if you load up into your next game or you load up into games in the future, you know your opponent's going to be trying to call corner routes. Let me show you the best way to slow them down, again, from the Jaguars playbook. Alright, so we're going to come into nickel wide right here, and our play is going to be cover 6. Alright, we're going to come right back into our coaching adjustments because, again, we're in match coverage, which means we have to have all 3 zone drop depths on default for this to work. Alright, we're going to come into cover 6, and what we are going to see is they're going to call just a flood concept, shriek corner flat. Alright, boom, something like this. And you're going to see how we're going to do a great job of just stopping that. Because again, hold on, wrong controller, right here. All right. They're going to take this snap and just watch how we're sitting on every route, right? You're going to have to switch stick onto that out route, which I'm kind of surprised that didn't get guarded. Let's see. We're going to have them call, I guess, from a different formation now that they're in a different formation. But street corner, but that's the thing about match is sometimes, right, the play doesn't necessarily go as planned with your user, or excuse me, with your coverage defenders, and that's why switch stick is so important to be able to, you know, catch on to certain things in a hurry. And I think it's because I was using the wrong guy. You want to always be using the backside linebacker. So again, street corner flag right here. This time, yes, we're just going to be able to sit on it perfectly. So just really have to pay attention with your user, watching the routes as they develop, right? When you're running match and when you're playing defense in general, you always need to be recognizing what route concept the offense calls right off the snap, because that helps you determine if you need to switch stick or not. So again, street corner flat right here. Quarter flat does a great job of matching onto the table route, right? Inside quarter does a great job of matching onto their corner out right here, and then our outside quarter just does a great job of obviously just running with a simple streak route up the field. So again, it's not really going to matter what is this Hail Mary? Why are they in Hail Mary? It's not really going to matter what what formation they call, but we're just going to go with it again, street corner flat, something like this, all right? And we are going to just, we're going to user this man right here. Now, here's the thing. If they're going to call the, it's because I have auto football. That's the problem that I keep running into here. I had auto football when I was showing you guys something else earlier in this video. So, I mean, I'm glad I caught myself, and I'm glad you guys get to see that. But that's why I tell you to have auto football, because that's why my defense in that first rep, they didn't match how I wanted them to, because auto flip was off. So we're going to come right back into the play. We're going to come into cover 6, and now my slot corner is going to be on the correct side of the slot receiver, which is going to determine how this coverage plays. So again, they're going to call street corner flat, and this time, again, perfect defense right here, because our quarter flat is going to match, outside quarter is going to match, everyone's doing a great job, and then we're just going to pretty easily be able to collapse the pocket. So many people struggle with corner routes, and match coverage is really a great way to slow them down, right? Because again, all you have to do is have a good user over the middle of the field, right? If they call a backside dig with the street corner flat route concept, right? They call maybe a route concept like this. Well, again, you're going to watch the same thing's going to happen, but now you just have to be everywhere with the user, and you're going to be able to come down and take everything away. It really is a simple defense, because again, make sure you have auto flip turned on so your slot corner aligns on the right side of their slot receiver. But when you call the coverage correctly and you set it up correctly with all 3 zone drop depths on default, you're essentially going to be running these routes for the receiver and taking away the corner route every single time. Alright, if you enjoyed that breakdown of the Jaguars defensive playbook, a full Jaguars defensive ebook, go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive tips and tricks just like this every single day here on Madden 26, and you're not going to miss out on any of them. But if you're still struggling on offense and want to know one of the 5 best offenses you need to be using right now, check out this video where I break that down. I'll see you over there.